Hello everyone, I am Saurabh Kasar and I will be your host for today's discussion. So first of all, a very warm welcome to all the participants for this webinar and I thank you a lot for taking out time and joining the session. So I hope all of you are in safe and in good health at your respective places. So my dear friends, as we can see how this global crisis of COVID-19 has shaken the whole world. Like this, in our life, we will face many problems and difficulties. So, therefore, along with our external strength and external activities, we also need the internal strength to fight against these problems, and then only we can achieve success in our life. So, that's why we have kept the topic of today's discussion as 3C formula for success. So from this discussion, you will be able to learn how to develop this internal strength, and also you will learn how to become a better human with amazing values. And also we are very fortunate to have two very excellent speakers to discuss this topic today with us. So today we have Mr. Aditya Jha sir, who has completed his BTech in electrical engineering from IIT Roorkee. He is also a KVPI scholar and he was involved in various sports, social activities and cultural activities during his college times. As far as his academics is concerned, he was amongst the departmental top rank holders during his college time, and he has also received various awards like SURA in 2016 and the AAD scholarship for his research work. He has also been to Germany, Switzerland, Australia, and Slovenia as part of his research at Technical University of Munich in Germany in collaboration with BMW. He is currently working as an application engineer at Oracle in Hyderabad. Sir also likes to share the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita with young minds at different academic institutions. And we are also fortunate to have with us Mr. Gajendranath Chaudhary sir. Mr. Gajendranath Chaudhary sir has received his BE degree from Osmania University of Hyderabad. He has completed his MTech and PhD degrees from IIT Delhi. And he has also worked as an analog circuit design engineer at various companies like ST Ericsson and also with Aura Semiconductors. He is also working in the research field, and his research interest includes analog and mixed signal circuit design for ultra low power systems. And sir also likes to give regular sessions to the youths on value based education from scriptures. So I would like to welcome our speakers, and without wasting much time, we will start the session. So I gladly welcome Aditya Jha sir and Vijayandranath Chaudhary sir for the session. So both of our speakers have joined us. Now I request Aditya Jha sir to start. So Aditya Jha sir, over to you.
So thank you very much for inviting me to this program. It's very nice to see all of you here, so many nice students. And today's topic is also very interesting, 3C formula for success. So see, many of you would be, aspiring to become an engineer. Many of you would be aspiring to become a doctor. Many of you would be having, wonderful artistic skills and would like to pursue your career in that field only. So if you have observed, we may have different interests, we may have different opinions, but there is one thing which is common in all of us. And that is we all want to become successful in our life. And therefore we have come up with this today's session, 3C formula for success. Very interesting, right? So it's only a formula which is okay tested, as you might have seen in many electrical appliances where we have this label, right? Okay tested. So this formula is well tested from the experience of many who have achieved great success in their life. So let's start with our today's session, 3C formula for success. So see, the very thing in our achievement is the goal. So if the goal of what we are means what we want to achieve in our life, if that is clear, then it's just a matter of time, it's just a matter of preparation, it's just a matter of steps that we have to follow to achieve that goal. And Aristotle has said that well begun is half done. So if your goal is clear, then all you have to do is to be careful in following the steps towards your goal. You just have to be on the path, you just have to protect yourself from deviating from the path, and success is guaranteed. So now the 3 C's. So let's start with the first C. The first C is competence. Yes, the very important aspect of this session is competence. So this competence is in itself contains, vast number of aspects. For example, the goal. The very first is goal, which we have already covered. So if our goal is clear, then what we do in our preparation comes under performance. And with performance, gradually we develop a lot of skills and talents. But even if we don't develop skills and talents, it's just a matter of time we will be able to develop those skills and talents. And it's also said that hard work beats the talent when the talent fails to work hard. So the lesson is we have to work hard to achieve our goal, and for that we have to give good performance. And with good performance, or even with bad performance, we get good experience. So in both cases there's a win-win situation. And with huge experience, we get quality in whatever we are doing, and with quality we get our base of knowledge gets improved, and this actually enhance our competence. So this is the series of steps which comes under competence. And the very first aspect of competence is concentration. It's very, very important, especially in the life of a student. As you might see in this picture, I know many of you have already know what is the context of this picture. So here I'll tell you a very small and very interesting story from Mahabharata. So during one day, the teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas, when they were getting training from when they were getting this archery training, their teacher was Dronacharya. And one day he decided to test the skills of his students. So what he did, he just made a small wooden bird, and he just hid it in front of a tree. And he called every student one by one, and he told them, okay, so now what you have to do, you have to take one arrow and you have to hit the eye of the bird, nothing else. And the very first person he called was Yudhishthira. And he prepared his shot. But before shooting, Dronacharya stopped him. He said, okay, first answer my question. What are you able to see? So he said, sir, I'm able to see the bird. Yes. Okay. Anything else? He said, yes, I'm also able to see the tree on which the bird is resting. He said, okay. And he said, okay, sir, I'm also able to see the other trees behind the trees. Okay. Then Dronacharya said, okay, you do one thing, you leave it now, let others try. So after that came Duryodhana. He said, okay, what are you able to see, Duryodhana? He said, sir, I'm also able to see the bird. I'm also able to see the, the fruits also. In fact, I'm also able to see all other trees behind the trees. So he said, okay, you also leave it and let others give the try. And then came Bhima. And Bhima said, sir, I'm not able to see anything except the fruits, because he was hungry. So Dronacharya said that you also leave. And like that, all the students more or less gave the same answer. And Dronacharya never did not allow anyone to shoot. In the end, he called Arjuna, and Arjuna also prepared his shot. And Dronacharya also asked the same question to him. He asked, Arjuna, tell me, what are you able to see? Arjuna said, sir, I'm able to see the eye of the bird. Dronacharya said, very good. What else are you able to see? He said, sir, I'm only able to see the eye of the bird, nothing else. Said, okay, then shoot. And he shot, and the arrow exactly struck the eye of the bird. So that was the power of concentration. So if we are concentrated, definitely it saves a lot of our time, because you see, some people, in my experience, like I have cracked IIT JEE, so many students have asked me, sir, how many hours you have prepared for your during preparation for IIT JEE? So I said, actually it does not matter that much, because whatever amount you are giving in your preparation, give quality time. And how that quality time will come? That quality time will come with concentration. So 10 hours of unconcentrated or unconcentrated preparation is not worth of 4 hours of preparation worth fully concentration. So now, similarly with concentration, the another aspect which you have to carry along is practice. It says practice makes a man perfect. It was Arjuna, the same Arjuna, he did a lot of practice in his archery skills that made him win that contest of Draupadi's Swayamvar. And that contest was not even easy. You have to shoot the same eye of a fish who is right now, this time it was rotating, and you don't have to look at the fish, you have to look at the shadow, and by seeing the shadow you have to hit the fish. So it would not have been possible for Arjuna if he had not practiced it well. So similarly, practice plays a lot of importance. Like some of some of you, like some students have told me that, sir, I think he is naturally talented or naturally skilled in his work, and I have to do a lot of efforts to achieve the same thing which he is achieving. But it's a matter of practice that you will also be able to achieve the same thing with similar ease and efforts. Now, the these are the do's things. Now coming to don'ts, one very important thing, one very important disclaimer which we have, which a student especially has to take care in his preparation or in his preparation phase, is his mind. So, mind is highly uncontrolled, especially in this age of gadgets. As per statistics, around today in India, even 70% of students starts using smartphones at the age of 11 only, because, and most of them, they don't even need it, most of them. So what they use it for? They use it for simply wasting time instead of giving their time in their preparation for their career or whatever they are aspiring to achieve in their life. So be very careful in using gadgets and other things. Gadgets are important, it has a lot of benefits, but most of the time we just get carried away in gadgets and waste a lot of time, and later on we regret that so much of my time has gone. So for that, also another aspect of uncontrolled mind is the thoughts. Many times when we start studying or preparing for something, mind distracts us to something which is not required at that time. So for that also we have to be very, very careful. And if somehow we are able to be peaceful in our mind, and then automatically our concentration improves. And definitely, even if we give less time, it is worth more than large number of time with distracted mind. So for example, this sometimes, like, you are preparing, so you may have the urge to watch TV, some special programs going on. So you can easily, as a friend, you can persuade your mind, saying that, okay, this is important, my exams are coming, so let me prepare for the exams. And if exams will go good if I prepare nicely, now after that I will watch this. So, like, you can give perks to the mind, but don't let it distract you. Okay. And there's another very, very important aspect. Some of you may not realize, but this is one of the most important aspect in a student's life. It is importance of regulation. In my right now also, but even when I was a student preparing for JEE and even my school time, I used to study sometimes as my recreation work. I used to study books. Actually, as per Forbes magazine, it is said that one of the most common traits among the highly successful people is they invest a good number of time in reading quality books. So it's very, very important. I'm not saying that you read curriculum books are also very important, but apart from that, use your recreation time to read good quality books. And good quality books and good quality association, both are very important, which shapes your future. So in one of the books I used to read was Bhagavad Gita, and in that there is a verse saying, Yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. It says, he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing this yoga system. So it means regulation in what? Regulation is eating. It says you are what you eat. So eat good quality of foods. These junk foods and these fast foods and all varieties of highly packaged items, these actually are not good for health. Eat fresh food. Eat food like cooked foods, like that. So it's very, very important, because it will keep your health important. See, for a student, many subjects you might be studying, like physics, chemistry, maths and many others. One of the important subjects which a student has to nicely take care is his health. So health is also very important subject, and you have to nicely take care of that. Apart from that, another regulation comes in sleeping. So, like, sometimes we feel that, okay, if I want to work hard, so I will wake till late at night and I'll complete all my tasks. And then in the morning, what happens? We just keep on sleeping by 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that. So the best thing which I have observed, and I'm telling you from my experience as well as from others who have also achieved a great success in their life, is that the early you sleep, the early you wake, and if you give your morning hours in whatever you are preparing, that is the most quality time. Especially this, there's something called Brahma Muhurta time. That time is most productive time, and one should, since we have many things which are more important than sleeping in our life, so we should give more importance to those things in the most important time. I mean, like, do your most important time in the most important work in your most productive time. So use your morning hours instead of late night hours in your preparation. It will be good for your health, it will be good for your focus, and it will also be good for your overall preparation. And you might have heard in your nursery or KG classes, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's actually true. Very, very true. So another don'ts which comes, which everyone has to deal with, everyone, literally everyone, is failures. It's not that one who has achieved big milestone in their life, they have never feared failures or they have never encountered failures in their life. Literally, believe me, everyone faces failures, but actually it's their approach, it's their dealing with that failures that actually determines whether they are going to be successful or failure in whatever they are doing. So don't be afraid of failures. Actually, Radhanath Swami says, every failure contains a seed of success. It requires vision to see that. And that actually we have to develop. For example, I'll again tell you a very famous and very interesting story. You all know who has invented light bulbs, right? Yes, Edison, correct. So, how many times he has tried inventing, experimenting things to produce this, finally invent this light bulb? 999 times, correct. And you know after he got successful, so one reporter, when he came to know that he had failed so many times, out of curiosity, he asked him, what made you continue experimenting, inventing this light bulb after you achieved so many failures? If I would have been at your place, after maximum 10-15 times, I would have given up. But Edison said, actually, it was, I should not call this failure, because after each so-called failure, I understood one new method of how not to invent a bulb. So in that sense, every failure was a learning experience for me, and therefore it was in one sense not a failure. So similarly, we should develop the vision or to see some learning from whatever encounter challenges or failures we are facing in our preparation. That will help us to become strong. That will also help us to develop good perspective, positive perspective in our life. And this will not be limited to only our career, but in our other phases of life also, like relationship with people and overall life management. Now again, it's like it says, see, um, for to gain something we have to do something. It's not we have to lose something. Actually, to gain something we have to do something, and for that it may happen that we have to, sometimes it may seem as struggle, but if you see your goal, if your goal is clear, then that struggle will not be painful in one sense. For example, let me, you all know this process, right? The growth of a caterpillar to butterfly. So a caterpillar, gradually after eating a lot of leaves, it just starts spinning and making cocoon, and down the line it just get itself trapped completely inside the cocoon. It is not able to move its leg or hand or anything like that. So during that phase of time, it's a kind of struggle for it, but he don't give up, he don't commit suicide, he just continues. He knows what I'm going to become. So, and it's just a matter of time. After that, this cocoon breaks and a beautiful butterfly comes. Nobody would have expected the transformation of a caterpillar to a butterfly, right? So that struggle actually is worth it, because the goal was clear, the transformation was clear to the caterpillar. That's why it makes the caterpillar to sustain that struggling phase. Okay, so similarly, at every point of time we have to keep our goal in front of us, so that even if challenging time comes, we are able to continue or pass through it. So now, so how to pass through that? For that we need determination. Determination is another very, very important aspect in our preparation, or that determines the success. For example, if we are determined, so no matter how much challenges we face, no matter how much difficulties will come, definitely you will cross through that, and definitely you will be able to complete your preparation and achieve the success. For example, I'll give you another very interesting and very inspiring story. There is in Russia, there was a small girl who was somehow born physically disabled. She was not able to walk properly. She has some leg problem, but she has a dream to first walk and then run. She wanted to run, and when she used to share her dream with other people, so other people used to make fun of her. They said, it's impossible for you. You see, just see your condition, and it's natural to say that, right? But she was determined that I will try my best, and definitely I'll achieve my dream. And she starts practicing. She starts working on her leg. She starts a lot of preparation, and in due course of time, her leg became better, and she starts first walking, then starts running. And because of the power of determination, she was able to complete her dream. And not only this, she won 3 gold medals for her country, right? So that is the power of determination. So to summarize the first aspect of competence, I would like to say these are the 4 important things which we have to maintain in our life, especially in our preparation phase. The very first is art of concentration. So concentration plays a very important role. It saves a lot of our time, and it improves a lot of our efficiency. The second is importance of regulation. So regulation in what? Regulation is eating, in sleeping, and in everything, in fact, regulated. The third is to see the failures as something, as a lesson. And therefore, once we are able to see our failures as a lesson, then it becomes our stepping stone to success. And the fourth is very, very important, the power of determination. Okay, so these 4 aspects, primarily completes the competence part. So are you ready for second C? So now I would like to request Gajendranath sir to continue from here.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. Am I audible? Is it clear? My voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I share my presentation?
Yes, please.
Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, sir.
Is it moving? Slides are moving?
Yes, correct.
Am I visible clearly, Aditya? Or you see some? Is my video okay, Aditya?
Yes, video is okay. You can do full screen now.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Aditya, for sharing your wonderful thoughts and competence. So Aditya was telling to become successful, we need 3 C's: competence, character, and culture. So he beautifully explained the need for competence and how we understand the problems in our life as stepping stones to become successful in our life. To see every reversal as an opportunity to grow. He has beautifully explained. And I take this opportunity to thank each one of you for joining us today. Thank you very much. So I'm pretty sure that you'll have some take-home points and you can apply them in life and grow to become a successful person. Now I'm going to speak about other 3 C's, which is character and culture. So let me start with this. Now what do you see on the screen? All of you see on a screen a tall skyscraper building, right? It's very high-rise building. Now, whenever we see such building, what do we ask? We ask, oh, how many floors are there in this? And who all occupied this building? How many rooms are there in each building? Who has architected this? Who was the architect for building this building? And how much glass is used, how much iron is used. You can use a couple of questions, and when was it built? But we never ask one important question. What is that? That is, this building is so high. How is it so strong? Even when there is a huge storm and when there is a huge rain and there's a lot of wind blowing, nothing is happening to this building. We never ask such question. So the reason for that it's able to sustain such a huge storm is its foundation. See, for example, I build a building, such building, but my foundation is based on sand and it's not deep and it is weak. Then what happens? Even before I complete this construction of this building, it crashes down even for a small storm. But if I construct the same building using a strong stone and it is deep and strong concrete, then what happens? Even there is a strong wind, how high the building may be, the building never collapses. So the foundation of the building is actually underneath the ground, not above the ground. So how high it's high depends upon, we see it as just height, but we also have to see how deep it is. Otherwise, how high a building may be, it may crash down. So you all understand that going deep and having a strong foundation is very, very important to become higher and higher in success, so that we never crash down with failures in our life and storms and reversals of our life. Now you see another example here. There is a tree. Let's say that you have gone a mango plantation, and you saw a lot of varieties of mangoes, right? Then immediately you ask, oh, what variety of mango is it? And how many mangoes does it produce in a year? And how does it taste? Can I have one? So these questions what will basically come to us. But we never ask one important question. That is, how is it getting nourished? Who is supplying food to this tree? How it is actually getting that food? That is through roots, right? The whole tree is getting nourished through roots, point one. Another point is, if these roots are very deep and very strong, then how high the tree may be, how strong the tree may be, it will never collapse when there is a huge storm or wind. But if the roots are very weak, and then even a small storm can collapse the tree. So another important point is, we always see the results, and he has become this much successful, he has become that much successful, but we never ask the question to go to that success and to retain that success and to accept the failures and work on them, to work on the reversals. What actually is the foundation? That foundation is the character. That foundation is the culture. The culture helps somebody to build the character. So from these two examples, we understand that although we see external aspects of a person or a personality, we also should understand what internal changes he had gone through to become such a strong personality or a person. So that's what is so since you understand the importance of it, let me try to give a little more details on it now. So roots are very important for a person. Foundation is very important for a high-rise building, and character is very important for a person. So just having competency is not enough. We also need to have a strong character and culture. Otherwise, we will fail utterly. Okay. Now, what defines our character? There's a saying, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Correct? What do we see? What do we watch? What do we think? That all defines, right, our words, what we are going to speak. Some students will simply speak cinema poems, cinema dialogues, because they have been watching that and they have been contemplating on that. The moment they open their mouth, only those come. So it is said that watch your words, they become actions. You all must have observed. Whatever we speak, later it comes out. Then watch your actions, they become your habits. Then watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. So if we feed in good thoughts, then we speak good. Then our actions become pure. Then our habits become pure. If our habits are pure, naturally our character becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Once our character becomes stronger, then it's natural that our destiny is nice and good. Now you see here, this guy thought he started speaking on them, discussing on them. Later it has become an action. Now you see, finally he has been carried to the graveyard. See his situation. He has become a drunkard because he has seen the people who is drinking, who is smoking. He thought, oh, that's very nice thing. Then he started complaining. He was solely talking about that smoking and drinking. Later he started picking that. Then it has become a habit. Then finally his whole character is being lost. See, now you see there are a lot of doctors who smoke. Do you know? Doctors know that smoking is injurious to health and one should not smoke. But still, they smoke because they don't have internal strength. Their character is not internally very strong. Although they know superficially it is bad, they are not able to control their desires, their desire to smoke and drink. And similarly, you see, there are so many administrative officers like IAS and IPS are very corrupt. Although they're very, very intelligent, their competence is very high, but they don't have a strong character. That's why they created trouble for themselves and trouble for others. That's why, since you are all very nice children who joined today, and you are going to be the future of our country, our nation, and our whole planet, it's very important for you to pick the strong character. And by cultivating internally good value system. Now, how do we build this character? That character actually is built based on the culture. Now, you know, culture is basically made out of these attitudes, beliefs, language, customs, the rituals, behavior, the faith or religion we practice, and the type of food we eat, and the type of music, drama, and art we practice. So these are all the different aspects of the culture. If we have a strong cultural system, a culture, then naturally our character will be strong. So let me take a couple of examples from our ancient scriptures. So as you know that in our ancient, so let's say that this culture is not only that from the ancient Vedic scriptures, and also it is said in Quran and Bible and many other scriptures. It says that you are the best nation that has been raised up for mankind. You enjoin right conduct, forbid evil, and believe in Allah. It says that we should have a right conduct and reject the bad and believe in the higher power. That's what it says. So any religion you take that basically speaks on this value system. Now let's take the culture which we have been practicing from the ancient time. One of the prominent examples we see in our history is Ravana. You know Ravana? He was so powerful. He conquered the whole world. Even the great powerful personalities were his slaves. The people who are controlling the wind, rain, they have to obey what he says. Such a powerful personality. Competence wise, he's very, very successful. But what about his character? You know, he is the person who used to kidnap of others women, other person's wife, women, and used to basically torture them and so-called enjoyment. Now see, although he is considered so-called very learned, he has a high skill, so successful that whole world is under his control, but his character was so bad. Then you take the example of Lord Rama. Lord Rama was so obedient to his father, mother, his parents, his brothers, his sisters, his family members, his guru, his citizens, and he was so loving and so caring, and he used to think about every living entity in his kingdom and everywhere. So he was such an extraordinary personality. Although if you see competence wise, Ravana looks as powerful as Rama, but Rama is always much superior. Of course, he has a lot of skills, just not that. He also has strong character, which is being developed by great culture. So now, we all want to be like Lord Rama, not Ravana, sir. So how do we become like Lord Rama? We want to be successful at the same time. We have a strong value system. Now, you see, what our parents teach us from the childhood is when we go and ask an elderly person, then give me blessings, they say, Vidya and Vinaya. They give two things. Vidya means good education. Vinaya means that we should never become pride. We should be very humble in our dealings, in our activities, and everything we possess, how we use it in every aspect of it, we should be very humble. Now you see a big Titanic ship. You know what these people have said? We are so advanced in the technology that nobody can actually conquer us. We are so successful that we built such a huge Titanic ship. And they said that nobody can sink this ship. But what happens? They said even God cannot sink this ship. Such was the arrogance they had. But what happens? Later day, they got in the news that this massive Titanic ship sank and many people died in the process. So how successful we may be, how great we may achieve, we should stay on the ground. I mean, our thinking, our thought process, our consciousness should be very high, but we should be very humble at the same time. So our thoughts are very high, very good, but we're at the same time, we can build a lot of things, we can get a great success, but we are still at very humble. So that's what we learned from this lesson. Now you see, as a part of our culture, we build a nice character. Now many times we know that some things are bad, we should not do. Some things are good, we should do. But most unfortunate thing, in the age of this technology, our mind is very, very uncontrolled. It is so uncontrolled that it is very, very difficult to make it to sit for some time and listen something, or read something, or watch something, or do anything. In fact, whatever we try to do, if we are trying to read, then it says, hey, let's go and watch a movie. If you are watching a movie, our mind will say, hey, there is an exam, why are you watching a movie? So basically our mind will make sure that we are miserable. So that's why, how do we control our mind? Controlling the mind, purifying the intelligence, having a right attitude, and learning from the great teachers makes our heart clean. I mean, all the unwanted things in our heart and our mind will go away. With this process, we can control the mind so easily. Then we can actually, if you do not control your mind, you cannot focus on anything. If you cannot focus on anything, you cannot get any success. So basically the competence part of it, where you build a lot of skills, also depends upon how well you control your mind. That's why the Buddha says, if you can control your mind, you can control your life. So our culture teaches us how do we control the mind, right? And there is also saying from the Christianity, it says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. So it says that you commit good to the Lord, try to serve the Lord, try to serve the nation, try to serve the citizen, try to do your duty as a student, as a teacher, as a employee of a company very nicely, and then you'll guaranteed to succeed. So all these things, where are we getting from? Our culture. Every culture has something to offer. Now, what are the different practical ways to control the mind of the distracted mind? So there are the best and powerful ways to sharpen our intelligence, as to strengthen our intelligence. If our intelligence is strong, our mind will be controlled. If our intelligence is very weak, what is meant by intelligence weak? Intelligence weak means we are always filled with the bad thoughts, bad experiences. Because of that, our intelligence is weak. When our intelligence is weak, our mind, whatever mind says, intelligence will say, okay, you go and do it. That's why, if you take the books like Bhagavad Gita or Bible or Quran, any of these books, they have a lot to offer for you to cultivate the good value system by which you can control your mind, by which you can sharpen your intelligence. The best way to sharpen and strengthen the intelligence so that you can reject the bad and accept the good is reading the holy scriptures like this, right? Now, there is a great Mahatma Gandhi, all we study from our childhood. What does he say? He says that when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in my face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to the Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately began to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. So he says that whenever there's a great difficulty and I see no hope, I feel like dying, committing suicide. He says, I just go and open a Bhagavad Gita and just pick a verse and read it. Then he is all back to normal. And you get a positive ray of hope. So that's the power of the Bhagavad Gita. So now, Bhagavad Gita also speaks about, and there is also Mark Twain says, as I was telling you, to sharpen the intelligence, we need to read the holy books like this. He says that man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who cannot read them at all. So better you read the good books, that is, will you fetch you a lot of benefit. Then, so with a strong intelligence, we can say big strong no to the bad habits and thus be happy. So where are we getting all this from? Holy scriptures, from our culture, we can get all these things. And one of the famous techniques we learn from these holy scripts is also meditation. So meditation is the practice in which you meditate on, you focus your entire energy on something. So there is one great way of meditation which we practice, I personally practice, it's called mantra meditation. So in mantra meditation, we say the mantra, we hear that with our ears, and we don't think anything, we just say it and we hear it. In this process, our tongue and our ears are completely focused. And when these two are completely focused, then our absorption, anything we do, increase. For example, there is one scientific study. It says, how does the mantra meditation actually help? It says that when somebody is in sleepy zone, there is something called brainwave frequency. This is measured as number of cycles per second. So it is measured on the y-axis. You can see that there are total 5 zones. First is sleepy zone, means your brainwave frequency is low. Drowsiness, brainwave frequency is between 3 to 8. And between 13 or above 13, there is something called active zone, and above 18, it's called hyperactive zone. But there is something called mantra meditation, which is called alpha zone. And they actually scientifically recorded a person who is doing these activities, and they found that a person who is doing mantra meditation, by saying a mantra he is listening, is actually in alpha zone, in a relaxed alert zone. Now, we learned so much so far that we need to build a strong character, and we need to, that can be built using our culture, and our culture offers wonderful things like holy scriptures. From the holy scriptures, we can sharpen our intelligence, we can control our mind, we can say no to bad habits, and we can become a person with a high moral values and good character. And we know how to live in harmony with the nature and every living entity on the planet Earth, right? So, and Arjuna and Krishna, you can see on this picture. And Arjuna, who entered into the battlefield of Kurukshetra, by seeing the army whom he is going to fight with, were all his friends, family members, relatives, and teachers. And he was bewildered. And he took the instructions from Krishna, and that is the Bhagavad Gita, what is being recorded. So by taking the instructions from the Krishna, Arjuna could win the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You can see that there is by following the instructions, what is stated by Krishna, he has achieved highest morality, highest character. Everything is very well explained in the Gita, and he got all the success. So there is a saying there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. It says, "Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhute Dhruvani Tirma Mama." So Sanjaya gives conclusion after hearing this whole conversation. He says, wherever there is a Krishna, the master of all masters, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. What are you looking? Everything is there in it. So pick the Bhagavad Gita. You get extraordinary power, victory, opulence, clear thought process, and you can become a great person in the society, and you can serve the nation, family members, and the whole planet Earth and every living entity. Whatever you need, everything is given in that. That's what Krishna says, Sanjaya says after listening to this conversation. So you can also clearly see that as I was telling, there are Pandavas were just 5, but Kauravas were 100. Now by listening to Krishna's instruction, Pandavas could win the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now it's our turn to pick the Bhagavad Gita, learn important lessons, and apply it in our life and become successful. Yes. So that's why there is a saying, no God, no peace. If you know God, then you can know the peace. So this is 3 C's. We spoke about the competence, we spoke about the character, we spoke about the culture. Although it appears that with the help of the competence, we can get a nice job, beautiful building, right? And nice car, right? High paid job, a lot of respect in society. But if our character and culture is not there, we can't keep that skill or that achievement what we got in the long run. At the same time, even we get the failures, we may commit suicide. You see a lot of students come to IIT, but they from school they are always first. When they come to IIT, they see a lot of students who are also very good, as good as them. And when they are not able to compete and they are not able to perform as good as them, they commit a suicide. Why is it happening? Because their character and culture was not so strong. They were not strong internally. But how do you become internally strong? That can be achieved with the help of character and culture. Many people in this world think that if I just have a competence, I can become happy, but not. If you see, with the help of the competence, the countries like America, Japan, Taiwan, there are a lot of so many Western Europeans, they build such an advanced technological innovations by which they can live very comfortable life. Still, we find a lot of people commit suicide. That clearly shows that just having a skill or getting a highly paid job is not enough. We need character and culture. So as a part of this, we are conducting this value education contest. So I'll speak few words, and I will ask Aditya to explain his thoughts also. So as all of you know that the Bhagavad Gita has 700 shlokas and there are 18 chapters. And for you being a student, it's very, very difficult to understand all these shlokas. Understand them and apply them is very difficult. That's why we have made a very small booklet called Value Education Contest booklet. In this, all these three aspects related to competence, character, and culture is very, very beautifully explained. And these are all just, most of them are multiple choice questions. You need to read these questions and refer this Bhagavad Gita. Then you can answer all these questions. So what do you get out of it? As I was telling you, you can become a wonderful person. If you become a wonderful person, whether you get a success or failure, you never crash down in your life. You're always steady. So that is the advantage. And this value education contest is being conducted across the India for more than 10 years. And a lot of students have taken participation. So the statistics and other things will be given to you. But the point is that anybody who takes part of it, you can build a strong character and culture. But this exam we have been doing across the India from last 9 years, more than 150 cities, and more than 2,000 schools participated. And how many students took part in it is 8 lakh students. And a lot of people got great benefit by reading this Bhagavad Gita and participating in this contest. So I request you also to kindly register for it and take great benefit of it and become stronger and stronger in your life. Thank you. Aditya, you may kindly share a few words.
Yeah, thank you. I would also like to add. So students, you might have observed that we all want some adventures in our life, right? And we all take, we do so many experiments, to experience something adventurous in life. So also this is something very new and something really very adventurous. So take this as an adventurous opportunity, and we assure you that you will definitely get a lot of learnings. There are many exciting prizes, of course. There will be certificates for all, but more important than this is the experience which you are going, the perception which we are going to take from this Bhagavad Gita while preparing for this contest. It's not like some tough exam, nothing like that. Very simple exam will be there, and very simple to understand booklet will be there, which you will be getting soon. So take it as an adventurous opportunity to learn something new and develop your overall personality development. This kind of contest, not like we are doing for your students, we are also conducting the similar kind of contest and similar kind of seminars in many big academic and corporate institutions like IIT and many big companies. So this year we have thought, why not to do for students also? So that's why we got this idea, and many of our friends which they have implemented this for you. So don't miss this. Some opportunities comes only once in life, so grab this, and we assure you, you will definitely appreciate that. So in advance, you're welcome. Thank you. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. And I sincerely thank volunteers who organized this. And also thanks Aditya, who has given wonderful insights. He himself was a successful JEE student who has cracked the JEE and got into IIT. So I'm sure that there are many people who has benefited by reading the Bhagavad Gita and taking the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So I once again sincerely thank each one of you.
So thank you very much, Aditya Jha sir and Gajendranath Chaudhary sir, for beautifully explaining us the concepts of character, competence, and culture. I hope all the students must also have enjoyed this session a lot, and they are going to apply all these things in their life and make their life successful and beautiful. So thanks a lot for taking your time and giving us this valuable teachings. And I also know, as sir has introduced us about this very wonderful contest, that is National Value Education Contest, you all must be excited to register this. And many students may be excited that, oh sir, please tell us now what to do and how to register for this contest. So yes, now here I will share with you how you can register and participate in this wonderful contest. So here we go. So for this, you have to do very simple thing. You just need to go on Google and type national vec.org, and there you will get this website called National Value Education Contest. So on this website, as you can see on the screen, the National Value Education Contest website, you can go and get all the information related to this contest over this website. Here are the previous pictures and whole information is given on this website. You can also see the prizes which are there for all of you to win. All these prizes are there. This is the smart studies kit which every participant will get through courier. This is value education contest book, very wonderful colorful book with stories and exciting study material, and also along with that you will get Bhagavad Gita. This is the study kit for this contest. These are the steps for this contest, and all the information is there. So for registration, you just need to click on registration and you will be directed towards this registration page. Here you can select whichever level you are in. So for example, if you are the student who is in the class 5 to class 8, you need to select level 1. Students who are there in class 9 to class 12 can select level 2, and all those participants who are above 18 years, they need to select level 3. After selecting your appropriate level, you can choose any medium through which you want to attempt this. If you wish to attempt this contest in English, Hindi or Marathi, whichever language you want, you can select and you can go for registration. After clicking on the registration, after selecting the language, you will be directed towards the page where you need to fill the details. So enter your full name properly here without any spelling mistakes. Enter your address carefully along with the correct PIN code and the address details. Then enter your mobile number, email ID, and all the required details in these fields. So this will be considered for your registration. So be careful in filling these details. After this, here you will see how much the amount is there for the contest, and then you can proceed towards the placing order. Then you can order your study kit on this address. You will get your study kit, and you can make the payments through various options. We have made available different options for payment also, like credit card, debit card, internet banking, Google Pay, Phone Pay, anything which you want, whichever is comfortable for you, you can select and proceed for the payment. So yeah, this is the process for getting registered for this contest. And one more thing I would like to tell all of you, and that is that Just as today we had this seminar, we will be having different sessions for all you guys. All those sessions will be online and the details are given on the website. You can see on this page. And to get the details, to get the updates of these details on your mobile, you can enroll your details here, and this enrollment is there for getting the updates of the session. So please remember the details which you will fill here. Just beside this live webinar column, these details are for getting the updates. This is not for the registration. So take the note of it, and the registration is only on this tab. Okay, so from here you will get updates about the sessions, like these sessions which are going to come in the future, and through registration you can register yourself and get your study kit and Bhagavad Gita to your address delivered, and that way you can attend for the exam. If you have any queries, if you want to ask some questions, you can go on this WhatsApp icon, you can write your question and you will get feedback from here. So thank you very much. This was the process for registration. I hope all of you are going to register for this National Value Education Contest, and you also will get all these prizes, win all these prizes. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks a lot. And we end here.